master's, in whatever. But I'm like trying to figure out all the requirements.
Do you like the special ed major there? My sister wants to do that.
Yeah, I'm like really nervous about not getting in. I have the GPA, I have everything, but it's just like, ooh.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. We're talking about me not.
Roxanne, that's all I want to talk about ever is you.
I know.
Roxanne,
I'm fine.
we kind of have a spot reserved in your house for summer now.
Dude, I freaking know and I'm freaking pumped.
Pumped. Alrighty.
Let's do this.
Dude, R.I.P. to Poe.
I know, poor thing.
I think she probably dropped the class.
She had to. Like, she just wasn't ever available.
Yeah.
Well, because the time difference is insane, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, she has like 7 kids running around.
I know. That house is so loud.
She doesn't have internet except at church. Poor girl.
Alrighty. What did you learn about standards of beauty based on culture? Is there overlap?
Okay, so I watched the Asian one or whatever it was called. Korean one, sorry. And some of it was like really odd to me.
What was?
The Korean one.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Well, it was because like they always say that they like want really big eyes, and then they want like a V line, and then it like was so in detail where it's like, and they want the little like lip thing on your eyeball, and you want 2 things, and it's called an inward thing or whatever. And it's just like I don't even notice what an eye lip is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like so detailed, and it was like, this is pretty. This is what this is. This is what this is. So it was just like.
I wonder if, like, the same way that, like, so for example, like here in Hawaii, like, being tan is so important to so many girls. Whereas, like, the culture that we were talking about, I'm in the library. Like, because, like, they just want pale skin and, like, that's it, and it's not something to work with, like, they found something else that yes. They've kind of found something else to emphasize on, or like found something that they specifically like, whereas like different races and different cultures, like they just happen to focus on different things.
Yeah.
And maybe in America, part of the reason we don't focus on it is because America is so full of so many races and so many cultures, whereas there it's like mostly Korean, like it's mostly all one, you know?
I like the differences of contrasting cultural expectations of beauty. Like, I like when they're different, because when I was on my mission, I had a companion from the Philippines. I think I already told this to you guys. And we passed by a tanning salon, and she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "That's where girls go to get tan. Like, you didn't know that?" And she's like, "No, that is so weird." And she's like, "Girls want to get tan here?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's something that is so beautiful to us." And she's like, "We have bleaching lotion in the Philippines to get whiter." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I had it in the MTC, but I had to get rid of it because it made my skin so dry here." And I'm like, what the heck? So then after that, because she'd always say, she'd be like, "Your white skin is so beautiful." And so after that, I was like, you know what? It is. It's so beautiful. But I like that experience because, like, I mean, in some cultures, I might even be too skinny, you know, or too tall. I don't know. And I think that I'm fat and short. but to them I might be too skinny and too tall. Bye. Good
Bye,
luck.
husband.
Love you.
My husband.
My
They said
husband.
bye, husband.
Bye, husband.
Online classmates
Hmm.
I have met randomly.
Okay, bye.
Ellen, when I see him in the testing center, we acknowledge each other. We're like, hello, I've seen you on my computer screen.
Yeah, ma'am.
The part of the question that it says, is there overlap? I think that it's definitely yes and no. I think that, like, there's definitely overlap in that, like, it talked about how the Korean culture, like, I'm trying to think of the certain examples, but there are certain, like, American fads or, like, fashion trends that they did want, and I can't think right now, but I think some of them changing their eyes, some of them, I can't think, face shape, just like some examples they definitely like did agree with, whereas there's not overlap in stuff like pale skin and tanning. So I think that it's not a yes or no. I think there is overlap in some cultures and some trends, and that there's no wiggle room in some other ones.
See, I think that there's not like always overlap. I think with some cultures there are, but with all the cultures, there's not like one thing
Yeah.
that they all agree on. And I think that's really interesting that every single culture has its own definition of beauty.
I think something that comes close is it was like, even here they go for tall and long legs, like tall and skinny and long legs, and I think that's kind of close to a universal thing. But you go to certain countries and they want like bodacious women, you know, like it's not always universal. I think you're right.
You guys remember that super old TV show, and it was just like where I don't know what it's called, like a keychain or something chain or something, where like they would have one word and then you would find a word that matched with that word and then you drop it and then you find a word that matched with that word and then you drop it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay,
What
well,
kind of TV did you watch?
my grandma watched it. It's actually
Lit.
no.
Gma.
But I think that kind of reminds me of like the standards of beauty in different places. Like you're always going to find a similarity in like two. Like you're always going to find a similarity from something, and then from that something you can find a similarity in something else. So I feel like it can make a keychain all the way around, but I think they are so different. There's only a few things that you really can connect to each one.
I think the only
Yeah.
similarity in all of them is that there is a standard of beauty
Yeah.
in each culture,
Well,
or at least each race.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Do certain standards translate from one culture to another or not? Certain standards of beauty translate or not?
Probably the tall, like long-legged, skinny.
Yeah, I think that, like, in general, like being lean, just like being skinny, and I think that it's because it's so closely tied to like being healthy, and like it starts out just like looking healthy, but a lot of people take it too far. But like it talked about the Korean culture, it talked about in like the Black poems how like the sizes that she wanted weren't there because the culture and like the time that she lived in had decided that the ideal size was way smaller than that. So I think they
Oh.
translate in that way.
But I don't think so, because in the second poem, not the second one, the I think third one, I don't remember of the Black poems, but she was like, and I get out of the beach and my hips sway, 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 and the men smile, and they look and they
Yeah,
hear
you're right.
my thighs slapping against each other, and they like that, and I'm like, yeah, girl, but like. I think that that's interesting that the lean and the tall are not even
Yeah.
a necessity or something that they want. I think that they just want in that culture. At least I know in Africa, they want their women to be thicker because then they're healthy,
Yeah.
and women who hold diseases usually get skinnier.
You're right.
So
This is
I want
funny
to move to
about.
Africa.
Oh, go girl. It's funny, but my friend just showed me this thing on Snapchat today, like this story on one of the pages that this lady got like illegal butt implants, and so her butt was outrageously huge. Like I think she was probably half black. But and so I think that you're right, and I'm correcting myself now after you said that because it says do certain standards, certain standards translate, and I think that certain ones do, but I think it's also hard to say
Which one?
across cultures because like the world that we live in is so molded. Like it's not just
And so
1, 2,
changing.
3. Yeah. So I think you're right. Like some people
Well, and it's
are
also
anorexic to fit one trend, and this lady wanted butt implants the size of basketballs to fit what she thought was best, you know?
No.
like when we say standards, standards that are put are usually by society, right? But like, can we even really define society? Like, who gets to say now we're more in this time period right now we're more accepting, maybe sometimes too accepting. We're just so accepting of all these things now, and I think it's kind of hard to now define what society is or what society would define, because I think a group of people over here would define anything absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, and then this group over here would say, oh no, way too big, like a size 3 or something, way too big, not big enough eyes, not whatever, like has some shape or something. And so it's like even hard, like when we talk about these things, like it always makes me think like what even is the standard though? Who gets to define
I think you're right because like a lot
society?
of the stuff that we read is like what the movie stars were doing. And so yeah, like you think of like what would be on TV or like what would be in certain magazines right now as like the trends and what's beautiful. But like you walk on our college campus and what like 2% of the girls actually dress or look like that, you know? So I think you're right. Like I think it's hard to measure like follow the trends and what people are saying are beautiful because society is not just celebrities. It's not just one
Right.
thing.
I think the standard of beauty here at BYU Hawaii is something so funny
It's so awesome.
because it's so distinctive, right? Like I went to the airport and I was like, okay, they go to BYU Hawaii. Like you can just tell. Usually, I mean, this is obviously overgeneralizing, but like it was like like blonde hair, like curly, and then like leggings, and then like really cute crop top shirt, and then I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? And then like the little choker thing, but like still fashionable, but also like really chill looking. Yeah.
When I moved here, I always like talked to my mom about like in high school I never like dressed cute, like I didn't care, and I definitely stuck out because of that. Like I was like the athlete, and like I didn't
in
care
high
about
school.
Yeah, and then here like nobody really wears makeup. Like you can tell like the certain people from certain places who wear makeup and they like to dress cute. That's fine, okay, whatever. All those girls, they can do their thing, but like the majority of the people like don't really wear makeup. Kind of just like are super chill about everything. Like never brush my hair. No one in my house brushes their hair. Like nobody cares, and like you would still be considered like beautiful. I just think like here it's so different from anywhere else too, because we have so many cultures here and because we have so many standards of beauty that it all just is like we're all fine. Like nobody actually cares, you know.
I went home for Christmas, right? And like, I know we're getting off track, but I'll just say this one last thing. But like, I didn't wash my hair like at all. And I told my aunt, I was like, at BYU Hawaii, like, washing your hair and like greasy hair, no one really cares because people are going to the beach so often that their hair just looks greasy, but it's salt watery. And so they just wear it like that. And I'm like, I just kind of got used to it. And she's like, that's probably not a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But like, anyway, it was interesting.
You're right,
'cause
but
when I
I'm
went,
not gonna change.
yeah, when I went home, I noticed it. And now here, I don't notice it when I'm like, not wearing makeup or not doing my hair. Anyway. Okay. Let's move on.
It kind of BYU Hawaii, like it kind of explains the next question a little bit. How do, I don't know how to say it, hegemonic racial standards of beauty affect the way people think about themselves or how others think about them? Think body shape, think race and culture, think skin tone. So like what I got out of the definition of that word when she explained it was like hegemony, I don't know. Let's just pretend like we know. Is like when one culture or trend takes over, and so like everyone follows it because they think it's like what's in. So after talking, I feel like I don't know about the world, but now I'm just thinking about campus. Like I don't think that I don't know. I don't think that people here let that get to them. Like I don't think that they let it affect their self-esteem and stuff.
Okay, can you say the question in like layman's terms?
What?
In layman's terms?
Yeah,
Lamest terms, like in like
lamest terms, whatever that saying
Dude,
is.
I thought you said layman. I was like,
I did
Girl.
because I don't know that
layman
word.
and lineal. Can you just say
Can you
like
say
they
it in
would?
Lemuel's terms?
okay, yeah, question. How do like what's popular in each race? How does that affect the way people think about themselves or how other people think of them?
Oh.
It makes them want to look like the celebrities in their race. That's hard to explain,
Go Canada.
but that's what it is. Like in every race, like the celebrities are what everyone's trying to look like. Like that K-pop crap. Oh my gosh. For one, I got distracted and started watching so many music videos. They're so funny.
I think that K-pop that she brought up, that star, I don't know who it was.
That
but, like,
guy?
Yeah, that guy, and then one other girl, the Korean girl talked about, like her face shape. I think that because they've decided that that's what's in, like it affects everyone in the way that like, oh, well, I must look like them. If I don't, then I'm not up to par. But now you guys just screwed with me. I just have BYU Hawaii. No one cares about anything.
Okay, listen, everyone. I
mind.
just looked up layman's terms, and it's layman. It's layman. LAYMAN.
Oh,
Oh,
I thought you were like pulling out a scripture name. I was like, girl.
In layman and Lemuel's terms. Anyway, well, when I'm around people of my race, and I'm not really following the fads of society or the standards of beauty, I just feel ugly, and then it makes me want to try harder. But I know that
Okay.
that's because of my insecurities. And so I think it's important to compare all of these different cultural beauties and like beauty in history and see that like it changes all the time and there really is no set standard. It's just whatever you're comfortable with, I think.
I just thought of kind of a good example. Like last year, freshman in the hallways, like I became friends with like a few like Polynesian girls, and so one of them came up to me one day and like, okay, so they're like thick, yeah, like
Mhm.
not huge, but like they thick, and one of them made a comment on like how tiny, like thin twig my legs were, like compared to my body, and I was like, and so like that made me like feel like I didn't fit in with them and their body types, because like I'm like broader up top, so I think that like me deciding in that moment that that's what was like desirable, I was like, well then I don't fit in with them. Like I'm not up to par with them, and it's just because of like their race and their genetics that that's how they are.
Mm. Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right.
Do
there
the
another question?
speakers, yeah, do the speakers in the poems think about their appearance in positive or negative ways relative to different standards of beauty? I think Ellen was talking about that, like the first one was jank, but the second one was she was flaunting.
Roxanne, why are there two of you? Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry. That's pretty funny.
I know I was watching Roxanne, and it's like Roxanne joined the call. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
I hate my computer.
dude, I'm on a school laptop and it is wrecking everything. Do the speakers think about their appearance in negative or positive ways relative to the different standards of beauty? There were just two poems by. No, there were three, right?
Well, I think the second poem, she was just like more content with how she looked, and she's like, this is just how it is. Like, the men love my thick curves. The skinny bus driver looks at me, and I just give her a mean look, and it's whatever, you know?
Did she? So I guess that's a good example. I was gonna ask, did she like talk about other standards of beauty, like how other people perceived her?
The bus driver, and then I think the other people on the bus.
Okay.
But I'm not. But the men loved her.
Lit. I would include something about that. Who's doing it? Kenna?
I
Ellen?
am.
Kenna finally got her turn.
I'm doing
Yeah.
the next one.
I'm like, give me my turn.
Yeah,
Roxanne's
Roxanne.
like, no.
Roxanne's like, no. I got this. Okay,
If I don't get a freaking wait on that.
why is there so much noise?
Tell the people to shut up, Madison.
Hey, I have to tell you to shut up in the group. I'm sorry. The sound is going through. Like,
Who's next to you?
it's my friends.
Oh, okay.
I'll wheel away.
I was like, dang, this girl.
I know, stranger.
Hey, stranger, shut up, please.
Okay.
Who was talking?
Kenna, what were you saying?
I was asking Ellen to elaborate on the bus driver thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
let
I
me
think you
pull up-
should include
Can I
that.
pull up the poem? Oh, wow.
Thank you.
I just need to find it really quick. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. When the fat brown woman hops on the bus, the girls and boys whisper, and men and women whisper, and children and cat whisper, whisper, and pigs too sometimes. Watch her sway, 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 and her arms moving like dat, and the shaking like dat is her tummy too. They make room right behind the skinny bus driver who gives her a big fat wink. The big fat brown woman, or the fat brown woman, takes out a bright red hanky, wipes the sweat off her brow, pats her cheeks, adjusts her dress, her bra, her hips, chases away the flies, gives the bus driver a mean look, is going to be a long way to the market. So you can look all you want, and you can watch all you want, and you can stare all you want, but the big fat brown woman will keep swaying her hip all the way to town.
So, does the speaker think about her appearance in a positive or negative way relative to beauty standard?
I feel like she thinks it's negative because she stands out so much.
So it's negative, but she chooses to just degaff.
Yeah.
That's what I
do
like
you,
about that song.
do you think that she thinks negatively of herself though?
I
or
think if
she-
she did, she
Like, is there? I forgot that there was a third poem. Did she ever talk about her confidence about herself at all?
it wasn't necessarily like this is how I feel about myself. It was like what other people think of me.
I think that Kenna, you could use that quote that she just talked about them to answer
Yeah.
the previous question, asking if like the racial standards of beauty affect the way people think about others.
Okay.
Yeah, I would reread this one, but
Okay. So I think like in consensus, like the first two poems definitely negative, like just down on herself that she doesn't fit what everyone else wants her to fit in, versus this one. She's fine. Done? Good?
yeah, are we good?
There's one more. What kind of image do they create of themselves based on these standards of beauty? So I think you could just use that same thing, just like almost, I don't know. From what it sounds like, she just sounds like she almost looks down on them. She's like, I don't care. I don't care about skinny people.
That's the second one, but the first one, yeah, she does like she's mad at the standards of beauty in London when she's trying to pick out a dress.
Yeah.
And she's like, everything's too skinny and I'm pissed off that I'm too big, or that their standard of beauty is different than my body, and so I can't find anything that fits me.
So
So they're
sees
kind of
herself as too
different.
big. Yeah.
So there's one, it's a black lady living in a white place, and then there's a black lady living in a black place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
We
the
good?
last one. Are we good?
All right. Good luck, Kenna.
Lit.
Thanks.
Go, Kenna,
I'll send
go.
you the
Send
link.
me the link. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Bye.